principal, Ms.Asna Nafees, needs no introduction. Silver-tongued, her eloquence contributes to her leadership qualities and magnetic personality. Ma'am, it would be a pleasure to listen to you this evening.
Thank you, Leona and Tanishka, for the wonderful words of welcome. Chief guest of this evening, Mr. Kuljit Singh Arora, the Second Secretary, Embassy of India, who has been deputed by His Excellency Dr. Deepak Mittal to be present, as Mr. Sachin Shankpal, the First Secretary, is very busy this evening due to some emergency meetings. President Mr. Hassan Chogle, Vice President Mr. Yasir Nainar, members of the Executive Committee, Mr. Harish Kanjani, Mr. Rocky, Mr. Gopi Vardhanan, Mr. Sridharan Koniramat, special guests, Dr. Nath, who is the Dean of Academics at the Pune University, which is again run by our school management, Kangaroo Director Ms. Juhi Khan, my Vice Principals, Ms. Shifa Sheikh, Ms. Mary Cruz, Ms. Shoma Bhattacharjee, HMs, Ms. Sini Menon, Ms. Najla Bukhari, academic coordinators, teachers, parents, and my dearest, lovely young junior school students, a very good evening. A very good evening to all the parents and well-wishers of DPS Modern Indian School who have joined in live from whichever part of the world that they are. I take this opportunity first and foremost to thank the Almighty for the blessings that He has showered on us, for making it possible to journey through the most difficult times that modern world has seen, that is the pandemic. We have survived the pandemic, and thankfully we are here as one of the first few guests who are entering into the school auditorium to witness an event, even if with 50% capacity of the auditorium, physically, to encourage our children who are participating, who are the wonderful budding artists of this evening. So a big round of applause to each one of us for going through very difficult times, but yet facing it with strength, with resilience, and finally, I think we are moving towards a world which is going to be a better place to live. This evening is very, very special. If you just recollect, annual days are done in the month of November, December. This is one of those very rare annual days which we are celebrating at the fag end of the academic calendar. At the very onset, let me congratulate every single student who is participating on stage because they have multitasked between their final annual examinations and practicing here on stage. Let me also congratulate the brave parents who said, yes, ma'am, we will go ahead. I remember inviting my team and telling them that school has started physically. We must give these children an opportunity. And all of them looked at me quizzically telling that, ma'am, it's the end of the academic year. We need to focus on our academics. I gently reminded them that our school's motto is holistic development. And I trust our students, our teachers, and our parents can multitask, are resilient enough to face the odds and go ahead with the annual day. The moment the approval was signed off from my table, you won't believe the change that came in the school. This school corridors came alive. For almost 2.5 years, the school was so silent, so quiet. It was so unusual for those who were reporting to school to be in school without the most precious things that the school holds, that is your children. It was empty. We were teaching, agreed. We were doing a great job with online education. But there's nothing like physical school. There's nothing like starting off with activities for our children. Let me tell you that the energy that got generated in the school is what you are seeing right now on the stage. This is less than 15 working days put together of practice that you saw just now on stage. Parallelly, our children were preparing for their examinations and writing them. So I think that they deserve the biggest round of applause. The theme that we chose this academic year was Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. When we sat down to think of what we should be doing on this theme, because it's a theme that is all over India, every organization, everybody that is talking about cultural events is celebrating. We decided to do a lot of research, and we have come up with all the latest trends that the Government of India is starting off, the policies, the various activities that are happening, and we have put up an act which involves a young person coming from a young Indian who's lived most of the life abroad, probably in the US, is coming back to India to witness a developed India. And what are the ingredients that have gone into making the country a developed country? So I think the thought itself is a beautiful thing. It has the entire policies that we could cover during our short period, including the national education policy that the Government of India has just released. So I think that our children are going to perform wonderfully. I've been watching them do this time and again when I enter the auditorium. They are full of energy. They are doing a wonderful job. A big round of applause to all the teachers who put this act together, who made it possible. I would say that we as a team would fail if we didn't have the right guidance and the right philosophers who walk the talk. I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Hamam Labdallah, Ms. Aisha bint Hamam, in absentia, for their guidance, for their support, wholehearted support. I also take this opportunity to thank the entire executive committee members, headed by our leader, Mr. Hassan Chogle, who is in himself a person who teaches us everything, every little thing that he does, we observe and we learn from him. So thank you so much, sirs, for being there, for guiding us, for seeing us through the journey of online education. It wasn't easy, and like I say, it wouldn't have happened if we all didn't come together and made it possible. I also take this opportunity to thank the entire leadership team who kept the morale of the teachers very high. I just wish to let you know that we have 5,600 children, almost 300 teaching staff, 250 non-teaching staff. And this huge family has come together to make online education possible for each single child. Yes, online education was being given to other children, but what you received and the accolades that we received from you is indeed a proof of how well quality education was being dispersed to each single child at their doorstep. Later, every single day was a challenge when it became 30% attendance, 50% attendance, 100% attendance, online, offline, blended, and we did it all. This wouldn't have happened without the support of the team of facilities, the transport, the IT, the stores, the accounts, the cleaning staff, the drivers, the conductors. They deserve the biggest round of applause. They are the ones who made it possible, along with the team of teachers and the leadership. This evening is very, very special. We are talking about Ek Nayi Soch. You are young parents. In the Ek Nayi Soch, please keep in mind, your children and you have been through very difficult times. Please focus on mental well-being. Please focus on physical well-being and spiritual well-being of your child. You have realized that any amount of academics, I'm not discounting that you should not focus on academics, you must, but any amount of academics is not going to help you or your ward to do well in life if there is a sudden situation that changes the entire way we look at life. What takes you through is life skills. What takes you through is your mental and physical and spiritual strength. Focus on that. Do not bring an ill child to school to write an examination. It's not called for. I see young parents all excited, all pumped up, bringing very young children to school, even when they're having a cold, cough, a stomach upset, a fever, still coming to school. Appreciate, but understand that mental well-being is very important. And at this juncture, every single child's focus should be keeping physically and mentally fit and spiritually connected to whatever religion you belong, wherever you are, whatever you are doing. These are things that should be trained. And I think you as parents must focus on this. Also that, I would like to put on record that these few days have seen a war erupt in the world. This is something that we were not prepared for. A lot of our Indian students were held up in Ukraine, and a few of them were our alumni. And I remember the whole school came together praying that our alumni comes back safe. And thankfully, yes, they have come back safe thanks to the efforts of the parents, the Indian embassy there, the government of India. The children are back safe. In spite of this, some of the leaders who were involved with these activities, it was their children who were going through this difficult situation. But I remember I didn't see a bit of, emotional reaction or anything. Dedicated all the time to the school, they went on contributing positively. We also have teachers who have been going through very difficult health situations, but every morning that they come, there is some cure in DPS Modern Indian School. Sirs, it is your creation, the DPS Modern Indian School, that gives strength and energy to all of us. We are full of energy when we enter into the school, and I don't know what magic works. We speak one language, the language of love and compassion for our children. We hope that we continue to do so. We hope that we continue to serve. Also to put on record the good services of just not our team, but also the support provided the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Public Health, the Ministry of Interior, and the State of Qatar for making all the learning possible, for making these events possible. I take this opportunity to thank all these pivotal bodies of the State of Qatar for making our life way safe, way comfortable than any other place in the world. So I also take the opportunity to thank CBSE for the various type of arrangements done for examinations, and to put on record, you are young parents. You would love to know what's the future for your children. The future for your children is extremely bright. You have made the right choice of coming to the right school. Our results during the pandemic, for the 8th consecutive year, we were still toppers in the State of Qatar. We were still toppers in this entire Gulf region. CBSE recognizes our school as one of the quality schools in the Gulf, which has been given the task of training other schools to raise their standards. This is not a mean task, keeping in mind that there are 22,000 CBSE schools established by the government of India. So this task, when it is given to us, it's a moment of pride. The international benchmark examinations that our student mentioned, our standards are way above the international standards, and we prove a point that we are giving basic literacy, basic numeracy to our children to an extent that you can match way above international standards. And remember, the fee structures are pretty low for our school when compared to any other school in town. So with all this, I think we are moving in the right direction. Ek nayi soch is for each one of us to think how best we could be the best of ourselves, and how best we could make this institution sustain its glory and remain at that position of the zenith of glory. So God bless every single member of this DPS Modern Indian School family that have continued this journey of 20 long years with us. 20 years of continuous quality education being delivered, excellence being delivered is not a mean task. So I would wish each one of us the very best, and a big round of applause for the 20 long years of journey, which started with very humble steps. So I think, we had about 130 children or 200 children, nothing more than that. From there to a school where the wait lists are more than 2,000, and we are not able to accommodate children. We have opened a sister school, and even in spite of it, the demand for the school continues. We continue to receive a lot of requests from each parent. Thank you, parents, for being the pillar of support, for all the appreciation that you have given us, written to us. Without you, this journey wouldn't have been possible. God bless every single member of the DPS Modern Indian School family. Long live the relations between the State of Qatar and our homeland, Mother India. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, ma'am, for the inspiring words.